a lot of people want to know what's in these ingredients that could actually deliver those kind of results that we saw in the video. And some of the results that I'm going to go over with you from the overseas study that we just conducted. So it's an all-natural product, which is wonderful. Being that I'm a holistic dentist, that actually worked out really good, but it was one of my goals to find something like that. And the first is spearmint, and spearmint's been known for many thousands of years, as has peppermint, to be antibacterial, antimicrobial, but in a kind way. In other words, it won't just wipe out all the bacteria, the good ones. It tends to sort of leave the good ones alone. And we saw that on the slides that I was doing in the mouth in my office. We could see that not all the bacteria were being wiped out, but many were, especially the harmful ones, the spirochete ones that look like they're like little twisted coils. Those are the ones associated with heart disease and cardiovascular disease, and we want those under control. 75% of adults have some form of gum disease, and when I talk to someone, if I tell that to some adult, they'll think, oh, well, that's the other guy that must have it. But 3 out of 4 just have it. Could be from gingivitis to full-blown bone loss, and they're heading towards loose teeth. So we wanted to make sure that we had a natural product, and we looked into the spearmints and the peppermints, and they both fit the bill to do that very nicely. The other is that I added to it was tea tree oil. Now, why the tea tree oil? Because we know of its medicinal type property, and that's what we wanted also to impart. And then we put it all in a sweet almond oil. The sweet almond oil acts as a carrier, but the truth is all of these are carriers of each other, and they sort of enhance the potential of any one individual ingredient. And that's the beauty of this product. So the spearmint helps carry the peppermint deeper because they're volatile, they outgas. They drive it a little bit deeper under the gum line into the tissue, and they'll remain in the mouth and around the mouth. So these are the main ingredients that are in there. And then we have a slight flavoring ingredient that's with stevia, very small amount, just to take the slight bitter off of this formula. Otherwise, it's so bitter you can't tolerate it. Now, I wanted to show you this great study that we got overseas, and it took them some time to put this study together. But what they did is they tested the essential oil against a whole level of different bacteria that cause gum disease, and also the ones that cause fungus and inflammation in the mouth. And they tested those. We call it in vitro, so it means it was tested essentially in a test tube, but they did it in what they call little petri dishes. And so they can see if they put certain amounts, certain concentrations, how wide and how far would it go out in inhibiting the growth of those types of bacteria. Now, all those bacteria that were tested, they were also tested against a norm of a different type of medication, antibiotic, antifungal, etc. So they would test how effective is it in relation to that. And what they discovered across the board, and the scientists that did the study were blown away, that this essential oil combination and specific blend essentially obliterated these bacteria. The big ones that were involved in causing chronic inflammation, chronic gum disease, gingivitis, all those sorts of maladies that people get in their mouths. Well, one of the goals that we have is to eradicate gum disease. We've come a long way with this natural product. Now, it almost seems too simple to be true, and it kind of, or too easy, but that's how it should be. We've discovered something that has broad application, it's natural, it won't harm the body, and it gives you fresh breath along the way. These are all great benefits. So I want to share with you what the conclusion of this study was from this independent study. A couple of words that I'll go over here. One, you'll hear me talking about it, the way that they stain bacteria. One shows if it's gram-negative, gram-positive. The gram-positive ones tend to have more more beneficial bacteria. The gram-negative ones tend to be more associated with the ones that cause disease. Not always true, but it's just different staining. And they checked it against fungus. Based on the current findings, the antimicrobial activity of the OraRestore essential oil blend against both gram-positive, gram-negative, and fungus confirms its broad spectrum activity. So that means it handles all of them. It's a wide application. Thus, the OraRestore essential oil blend can be considered to have a good potential in the field of dentistry as an effective oral care product, such as mouth rinse, toothpaste, or aromatherapy for prevention and treatment of oral infections. So that's a very strong statement. Now we have this essential oil backed by clinical studies, and we also have it backed by the studies I did in the dental office under the microscope. And I wanted to share with you the ingredients so it's not a mystery to you anymore. This is very simple stuff, but it's very powerful, and I guess that's the way it should be. So I hope you enjoy it.